No. That is my answer. No, it is not time to start panicking about ReZero Season 4. This is an emergency video, okay? There has been a lot of doom and gloom lately, especially because of the last episode. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of negative reactions, and most importantly, and most specifically, because of Ice's recent tweets regarding the next episode and the big twist that is going to occur. Now, if you are an anime only, this video will contain spoilers for ReZero Season 4 Episode 7, aka the leaks regarding next week's episode, as I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about the panic that has kind of been ensuing within the ReZero community, because it is safe to say that it is getting a little bit out of hand from what I am seeing, and people are dooming very hard, as you know this community loves to do. So I just want to kind of, you know, be the antithesis to all of that doom and be the gloom. You can call me the gloomer, okay? So for today's video, what I'm going to be going over using my, where is it? Wait, I lost it. Hold on. My trusty, it's back. My trusty whiteboard. Is that what these are called? I don't remember off the top of my head. I will be using my trusty whiteboard, and I will be going over all of the pros for ReZero Season 4 and giving you guys some gloomer core and, you know, some hope core, to say the least. Anyways, though, if you enjoy ReZero, if you enjoyed this type of content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into the video. If you were unaware, we got the early leaks for ReZero Season 4 Episode 7, which obviously is when the big twist happens and Subaru loses his memories, which, you know, people have been so up in arms about this episode. There's been a lot of stuff being talked about, a lot of misinformation going around. The first thing I want to talk about is I saw a lot of people kind of hoping that Stike Celix would play during this episode. I'm not particularly sure where that, you know, perception came from and, you know, where that notion came from. I feel as if, you know, I think it is a good idea, and I think it's because ReZero's used its OSTs, you know, in the past, like repeated times, like during the episode Straight Bet, if I remember correctly, the song Straight Bet played. But yeah, no, that was never going to happen, at least for this episode. I think it would be much better fitting to save it for an episode like ReZero Season 4 Episode 11, which we know is going to end, aka that first core, on Chapter 54, which, as we all know, is just that emotional pivoting moment where, you know, Subaru and Emilia are falling down into, you know, the abyss or whatever and hugging each other. That, oh my god, don't even get me started on the chapter. That's probably like top 2 chapter within arc 6 for me. But anyways, though, yeah, no, I'm not worried about the anime, at least not yet. I feel like the product we have gotten so far is pretty good. I kind of want to, like, you know, do an overview on all of that, because when you're watching a show weekly, it's so easy to kind of get lost in the sauce that, you know, are the weekly episodes, and, you know, take a step back and look at it as a whole. I saw a lot of mixed reactions towards specifically episode 5 and episode 4, which is fair, as they were slower episodes and they were building up. Honestly, though, they were some of my favorite episodes, and those were the moments of ReZero that I truly love the most, specifically an episode like episode 4. Episode 5 I can kind of get, as it was very slow, a lot of talking. Charlotte kind of took over the whole entire sphere. But yeah, enough talking about those episodes. Let's talk about the leaks. As for, you know, the first scene, the balcony scene, it was reportedly done well. It was reportedly done good. You know, that's not the part people are, you know, complaining about or worried about. The main thing people are honing in on is how Ice said that, also shout out Ice, by the way, ReZero Ice on Twitter, he's the GOAT. Ice said that the, I guess you could say, reveal scene was kind of anticlimactic. Anime onlys will be like, oh my god, but everyone else will just be like, you know, whatever, which, you know, it is interesting to hear. And what I want to say most and foremost with this video is, do not let others' opinions, you know, dictate how you feel about the episode. Wait to watch the episode and make judgment of it for yourself. You know, don't let my opinion, the gloomer over here, you know, tell you that it's going to be amazing and great and let that completely form your opinion. I'm just giving my side of, you know, the whole entire situation, even though I haven't seen the episode, obviously. Yeah, based on some other factors, though, I feel like I feel like maybe, you know, this is a bit of a hot take on Ice's part, maybe. And the first reason I want to say that, or, you know, evidence I have going to say, is good storyboarder. The storyboarder for this episode is the same storyboarder who did the episode of Choose Me, which, as we all know, is one of the best ReZero episodes. Although I will remember people, when that episode aired, you know, not liking it as much as they did within the novels, which is interesting. But yeah, no, that's an amazing episode and an amazing moment within ReZero. My prediction for this episode is that they are more or less going to use this as setup for episodes 8 through 11. Now, mind you, this video is fully just going to be predictions. I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no confirmation. No one has told me anything. So I'm just trying to, you know, give some positive predictions. I think this episode is going to be set up for episode, oh god, what was that? That scared me. Episodes 8 through 11, and going forth, we are going to be getting just constant, non-stop, you know, peak. I am so excited to see episodes like, you know, Murder Becomes a Habit, which I honestly wonder if they will choose the title for the episode. As, if you don't know, episode 7 got the title of, when I left the convenience store, I entered a wondrous world, which is cool. What's it called though? Yeah, so I wonder if Murder Becomes a Habit will get a chapter name. The Aura Monster scene, obviously going to be here soon within a couple of episodes. So yeah. As for some other good news we've gotten about the future of ReZero Season 4, again, this comes from Ice, and this isn't any sort of confirmation. This is just, you know, kind of, you know, piecing the pieces together, is some may be predicting or saying that, you know, we got Vincent Charizard, I know that's not how you say his name, Vincent Charizard, whatever, for Julius versus Reed too, and that's my drawing of Julius right there, if you like it. Yeah, which is really cool, and I'm glad that he is coming back to, you know, come up and finish that duel right there between those two, because I saw people complaining about Julius's versus Reed's animation for the first one, which honestly I don't get, but I am very excited to see him getting that shot. Although I can't lie, the fight I wanted to see him adapt the most was Ram versus oh my god, Lai. That fight would have been amazing. Like, oh my god, it's still probably going to be amazing, but to see that showdown between the two being done by Vincent would have been so cool, as that is probably my favorite fight that I got to read within all of Arc 6. It was genuinely amazing. But what are some other things kind of standing out for what's to come about Re:Zero4, you know, on the speculation side? Well, one, first of all, I'm glad that they're taking a break in between the months for production's sake. Honestly, I know it's annoying as a viewer to watch, but again, that is a good thing. That means that they are scheduled on pace. And the fact that people are getting these episodes early and watching them early means that production seemingly is going well, as they are not, you know, rushing stuff down to the day before it airs, which is honestly a great sign, which means that things are going relatively smoothly behind the scenes. Also, for the future of Re:Zero, the fact that they are showing, you know, Arc 7 characters, you know, and people like the Mad Prince within the anime actually making like silhouettes of them is honestly very promising for Re:Zero's future and points to a lot of good things. And I think something that, you know, stood out to me the most is I'm seeing anime onlys complain about the pacing being too slow, while I'm seeing novel readers complain about the pacing being too fast. And that is just, the juxtaposition of that is so insane to me and so beautiful, and it kind of shows that the tunnel vision some novel readers can get when it comes to certain shows. But also, you know, it's understandable, because I'll see things, you know, people asking questions about things that are not entirely answered, like with the Julius episode, for example. And I always just find that dichotomy so interesting, because, you know, you'll have people on the anime side be like, oh my god, you know, 2 full episodes of just talking, and then you'll have people on the web novel side be like, oh my god, only 2 episodes of the talking, you know, they cut this piece of dialogue, they cut this piece of dialogue, so on and so forth. And it's always just so interesting to me how White Fox as a studio has to kind of, you know, handle that delicate balance. But as a whole, I really do have a trust for them, and I feel like looking back on these 6 episodes, it has been done extremely well so far. I have literally no complaints at all, besides a couple of, you know, minor cuts here and there, more specifically with last episode, Julius's episodes, some of the dialogue that was cut there. So knowing that fact, I am hyped for what's to come. And so now that we know 100% that episode 7 is going to be the end of volume 22, and more or less, you know, the very end being the beginning of volume 23, that means volume 23 is going to be 8, 9, 10, and 11, 4 episodes, which I you know, it's being kept up in the air. We don't know up until this point. Episode 7 is not an extended episode. The opening doesn't play, but the ending plays. Will there be any extended episodes within this first core of Re:Zero? I honestly am starting to feel like no. I think if there is, it's going to be episode 11. I think episode 11 will be the extended episode, and I think it will only be, you know, like 30 minutes or whatever, not like anything like crazy extended like how we saw with the first episode of, you know, season 3 or something like that. But yeah, I think episode 11 is going to be the extended episode without a doubt. I mean, the fact that Ice is mentioning that there are extended episodes and aren't extended episodes tells me that there is going to be an extended episode, or the fact that he's like even like bringing it up to begin with, if you know what I mean. So my prediction is that there will end up being 2, you know, extended episodes within this season of Re:Zero, episode 11 and probably episode 19. I think those are the most fitting. And if it's not episode 11, it's probably going to be around like episode 9 or 10, whenever Subaru is at the peak of his like psychosis and is paranoia and is, you know, like literally going insane and all of that crap that's going on then with Melee. And something I've really liked the anime doing at this point is how they've kind of like, when I rewatched episode 5 with my friends, they kind of abstract Melee from everybody around, you know, the group or whatever, and it kind of shows how she is a bit ostracized or feels a bit ostracized, and it's built up that suspense. You know, one of my favorite things about Arc 6 as a whole is that, you know, it calmly and, you know, narratively builds up that suspense, so you don't know who it is that pushes Subaru within, you know, the whole entire, you know, falling off the stairs scene, because every single character within their own way is paranoid to a certain degree, except for like, you know, maybe like Beatrice and Amelia. But you have Julius with the whole Anastasia theme. You have Melee, who is a villain previously and, you know, feels a bit, you know, separated from the group. I mean, you have Ram, who has just been tweaking on Subaru nonstop through all of these loops. So the question, you know, begs to ask, you know, who did it? And you have Shala, who obviously, you know, they played up a bit within the anime, but is, you know, seen as a little bit mysterious because she ultimately did kill Subaru at least once when they were traveling to the tower. So yeah, ultimately, I kind of just wanted to make this video to remind you to not panic. I'm seeing a lot of panic online, whether that be Twitter or TikTok. You know, this isn't like as serious of a video. It's probably going to be a bit shorter, maybe. I don't know. I get caught away and start yapping. But yeah, don't panic. Just wait for the episodes to come out yourself and watch the episodes yourself. If you're watching the episodes and you're enjoying the episodes, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what people are saying on Twitter. It doesn't matter what people are saying on TikTok. And the same goes if you're not enjoying the episodes. You know, it doesn't matter what I'm saying and hyping it up in every regard. It ultimately comes down to your enjoyment. So for the love of God, do not go into this next episode with a closed mind and be a sheep. Go into it with an open mind. Go into it prepped for what's to come. If you're an anime only specifically who decided to watch this episode or video or whatever, anyways, even though I just spoiled a bunch of stuff, go into it with an open mind. Don't be a doomer, bro. For the love of God, don't be a doomer, because that is the worst thing you could possibly do, because that just brings down everybody's enjoyment. It's easy to panic, and when the anime is being bad within certain ways, you know, you can't deny it and all those sorts of things, but I feel like it hasn't up until this point, and I'm fine with giving White Fox a bit of leeway, considering I feel as if they have delivered up until this point. Now, obviously, this is the most important parts, you know, specifically episodes 7 through 11, you know, actually them delivering on that psychological aspect, which it seems they will, considering the director's comments in previous interviews, you know, how they wanted to hone in on that. And honestly, I've seen how they have built that up, like how I previously mentioned with Melee earlier. But yeah, overall, this video is just made so that you guys don't get too caught up in the dooming and the glooming. Wait, oh my God, I just made this whole video saying glooming, but I think glooming is a negative word. Wow, I might actually be a dumbass. Holy shit. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, don't call me the gloomer, guys. I just kind of realized that's a negatively connotated word. Anyways, though, that'll do it for today's video. Have hope for ReZero Season 4. Don't give up on it yet. And anyways, guys, peace.